Well, there comes a point, and you just have to live with it.
Yeah, it's not as if I didn't tell them that already.
Yes? News. Where have you been these past moons? The whole city's talking about nothing else but the Mad Magister. 30... Yes?
My Dame.
Yes? Madame? Yes?
They just sit on their asses and hope things settle themselves. Idiots.
What? Did you say something? No, I'm perfectly fine. This is a grave, and I'm kneeling in front of it. I couldn't be better. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. My sister, Gadia, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there was this incident in the temple. The Red Madness. And you've heard about it. My sister, she was a novice, just as I am. And she... You know, she met this boy. He was only of the manufacturer's path, and neither our parents nor the Holy Order would have approved. She wanted to leave the city with him. Travel the lands, just like in the Bard songs. I called her a fool. I told her that it was our path to serve the Order, and that leaving here would be a sin. 3 days later, it happened. She sat in the first row in Europe. You know. You say it as if it were far-fetched. But it is my fault. Without me, she would be with that boy in Dunville, building a new life. It is my fault she was in the lecture that day. No matter how I twist and turn it, this is how it is. Easy for you to say. Anyway, I should go back to the temple. Thank you for your words. Walk blessed.
Some shifts never end. Walk blessed.
Madame.
My Dane.
Well, that's just how he is. Always.
Live with it.
Malfrest's blessings.
Move along.
She-Ra. Oh, you want to impress good old Penny Pouches, don't you? Hey, there is something you could do for me. Just in front of the trading post, there's an old beggar. He stinks like a bloody batter and keeps on asking every passerby for money. So he'll be hard to miss. Get rid of it, and I'll tell our quartermaster what a good fit for Sickle you are. I don't know, best give him a good beating or something like that. You look as if you could do that.
Some people just
Well,
don't
good luck
know
with
their
that.
path.
Especially since the beggar doesn't even exist. I, for my part, will speak out against you when Penny Pouches ask me. If you ask me, the last thing the Sickle needs these days are more ruffians of your kind. Now let me get back to work. There's much...
Move along.
Huh? What do you want?
Oh, you want to... He stinks like a bloody batter and keeps on asking... Hey, but they lack the firm hand it takes to deal with scum like that. All they do is scold him a little, and the next day he'll be right back on our doorstep. I don't know, best give him a good beating. Glad to hear that. You have my recommendation, fair lady. That was a test, and you passed it. Decency's a rare sight these days, and you just proved you have it. Now let me get back to work.
Huh? What do you want?
Tender friends of the...
Be no bad, sorry.
As I said, the offer stands. Just think about it, okay?
I will. Take care. Hey, you came. Come on, take a seat. So, tell me, how are you holding up? It must have been quite the whirlwind. Yesterday, a refugee from another country, and now a prodigy with a magic great enough to impress old Bushybeard. Well, that's good to hear. I'm quite curious to see how things keep on with you. You're different. I noticed that the time we met. Anyhow, tell me, what do you make of this country now that you've had some time to look around? I figure it must be quite the change from Nerem. Shoot. Yeah, I can picture that. You know, this is exactly the reason why I love inns so much. The sky can rain fire out there. In here, you'll always meet laughter and good humor. Not to mention all the good-looking men and women. Absolutely. Though I think I've seen enough of this place by now. Of Enderal, I mean. There's a ship sailing for Calais next morning, and as it seems, it will be the last one for quite some time to come. Who knows? Maybe they still have a cabin to spare for a handsome treasure hunter. Oh well. This entire thing was more a coincidence than planned anyhow. The Order needed someone with skill and discretion. I was around. End of story. I never intended to stick around for much longer. Heck, me as an ambassador of the Holy Order, could you imagine that? Not one step further, O fair maiden. Drop your garments so we may both bathe in Malphas's holy light. Actually not that bad, don't you think? Oh, you're too kind. But you know, at the end of the day, I guess I'd probably lack both the pathos and the idealism for such a profession. You know, I'm aware of how these esteemed keepers up there talk about sellswords like me. I could save 30 virgins from a Myrodon rampage. At the end of the day, they'd always say I did it for the money, because I wanted to bed the women, or whatever. I'm driven by inferior motives. While no matter what their actions end in, they are good guys, because they do things for the right reasons. If only they'd understand that it's results that matter, not intentions. What does the wise hermit say? Nothing is of less importance to the saved than the reason for their rescue. The only difference between a mercenary like me and a holy warden is that I'm at least aware of the fact that I do what I do for myself, and no one else. I'm trying to say that all those heroes and self-declared messiahs are no better than everyone else. In the end, we are all selfish, because we always act in accordance to what we think we have to be like. So yes, maybe the keeper saves the farmer from the bandits. But at the end of the day, he does it because he sees himself in a certain light. You know, the funny thing is that a lot of times, it's especially those who think of themselves driven by a higher purpose who are the really dangerous ones. They don't understand what drives them, and that makes them easy to manipulate. The only thing left to do for the capable hate-monger or tyrant is to somehow combine his own ambitions with the mental image of this person. And presto, you've got your perfect puppet, only waiting to dive into the next hail of arrows for their honor, their religion, or whatever they thought of this time. It's just so idiotic, you know? The world would be a much better place if everyone could just acknowledge that the only reason we're here is that we want to be happy. Really? I was half expecting you to throw insults at me. That's what people usually do when I tell them that. But I guess life is full of surprises. Anyway, I'll take my leave now. I very much enjoyed our talk, but the ship to Calais leaves before the first cocks crow tomorrow, and I want some more time to think about it. Well, it most recently gained a good-looking Naramese woman. Maybe that'll make up for when I leave. Keep your chin up.
Me, stew, roast pork. Anyone? Bed, soda.
Madame?
Bread! Taste it now, our unrivaled, fresh, and tasty bread!
Yeah, as if.
Some people just don't know their path.
Fades away at the end of the day.
An outlander. Isn't this nice? An outlander. Isn't this nice?
Hmm? What? Quirk. Pipe of peace weed. Hey, why is that stuff so expensive?
Madame.
Walk blessed, friend. Sure, where to?
By the prophet's ass! 1 second later and I would have been scraping your remains off the floor. What in blazes are you doing here anyway? Let's put it this way. I know how to hide when I don't want to be seen. And concerning the explosion, you stepped right into a Kyranian dust crystal. Get a little too close and wait a little too long, and you'll have your ass blown around your ears by an explosion that would put any cannon to shame. Lashiri? Oh my. The fellow really isn't one for names, is he? I'm Lashari, but never mind that. At least it proves you're not lying. Anyhow, I hope you're not the backup I asked for. I was hoping for someone more, impressive. No offense. Is that so? Indeed. You have some uncontrolled magic inside you. And quite a lot of uncontrolled magic. Not bad. I've never felt anything like this before. Very well. If Constantine insists, I will perform the ritual on you. But it'll have to wait, since I'm up to my neck in this shit, as you've probably noticed. Short version or long version? Which do you prefer? Fine. I suppose you already know that that is me, my assistant, 2 Arcanists, and 4 Keepers, are here to do research on, well, on something, which is exactly what we've done these past weeks. But as I went upstairs to get something a couple hours ago, I suddenly heard screaming and the clanging of metal coming from downstairs. As I looked for cover, I saw these 2 shapes in red robes vanishing into the lower parts of the ruin. I have no idea who they are or why they're here, but to me, they look like mercenaries. Anyway, fact is, my esteemed Enderalian colleagues and my assistant are still down there, together with our research, and I want them back. And before you ask, yes, you can help me. You'll have to, actually, if you want me to tame your magic. I wouldn't have a chance fighting the mercenaries by myself, but the 2 of us might be able to do it, provided you can defend yourself, which I'm quite sure you can. What do you say? Are you ready? No idea, but I don't think there are more than a dozen. Also, they don't anticipate any resistance, which is to our advantage. Oh, that's hard to explain. But part of it is finding the answer to the universal question. Why do some people have the nerve to ask irrelevant questions when shit is going down around them? After we've cleaned up the mess, we can do this whole, who are you and what are you doing here thing if you want to. But this really isn't the time. Fine, then follow me. And keep your weapons ready. I think I just heard footsteps down there.
You
Just try. Stabbed like a pig. Hang on. What's this? By the prophet's ass. I don't believe it. They're orders. My assistant, Sev. It seems he's the reason these fuckers managed to take us by surprise. Save it for Sev when I shove this staff up his ass and fire a thunderbolt. Shit, can you smell that? That's fire. So, these guys really are trying to destroy our research. We have to do something. You're adept at magic, right? Take this spell and use it to put out the fires. If I'm right, the mercenaries are trying to destroy the stone fragments, and we have to stop them. You take the lower part of the ruin. Try to save as many stones as you can. I'll take the upper part, and when it's all done, we'll meet here again. Oh, and one more thing. If you should find my assistant Sev down there, try to take him alive and bring him to me. I want to take care of him myself. Okay? Then let's get going. Well, I'll be damned. That's what I call good timing. I take it you were successful? What about the fragments? Did you save them? Well, I guess that'll have to do. Thanks. What about Sev? Did you find him? Fuck. That little shit. I was hoping I could make him tell us who's behind all this. Well, whatever. No use crying over spilt milk, I guess. What's your name, anyway? Amidst all this, we didn't have time for formalities. You're pleased? Well, that's good to hear. I actually had the feeling that I was a little rough on you. Sorry for that, really. Sometimes I just have a short fuse. Anyway, let's talk about the reason you're here. For starters, tell me how you managed to get the old ranter to trust you. That doesn't happen very often. I've got time. So, you're saying that you learned all this, the magic, the swordplay, in such a short time? That's fascinating, to say the least. And these visions, if I understand correctly, you foresaw the death of the two apothecary? It does indeed. But hey, who am I to judge? Here you are, the mysterious stranger who appeared out of thin air and, without much fuss, took out an entire group of sellswords. And even better, now you tell me that these skills come from studying magic for only a couple of weeks, and that you can see the future. You certainly are full of shit. Not you, sorry. I mean, I just had a strange thought. But no, that would be crazy. Way too unlikely. Well, I'd like to speak freely, but I'm bound to my agreement with the Holy Order. However, I will tell Constantine and old Aranthiel about my theory. And you will probably have to be patient until the latter decides to put you in the picture. Sorry. But if my idea is correct, then we'll be in a position to really kick ass. Anyway, hold still for a moment. Ready? All right, let's do this. Don't worry, it'll just tickle a bit. Are you all right? That wasn't on purpose. Really. Oh my, you really do look terrible. I will make this right, I promise. I have no idea what just happened. The ritual isn't exactly harmless, but normally you shouldn't feel more than a weak tickle at most, regardless of how it goes down. But, maybe this has something to do with the strangeness of your aura. I already said this, but it's so different. It's hard to explain. Somehow complex and cold, maybe. But hey, I'm probably just out of practice. It worked, and that's what matters. Your fever will now settle down to an endurable level, and maybe even vanish if you're careful. And now I suggest you return to Constantine. I will get the stones to safety in the meantime. You need anything else? If not, see you later. We're going to meet again. I can feel it. Well, put simply, they're supposed to protect us. But old Aranthiel will tell you more about it later. Take care.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. A miracle has happened, a miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth. People of this holy city.
Uh-huh. Yeah? What do you... Nah, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Walk blessed.
Honorless heretics who adorn themselves with the name disciples of the city.
Walk blessed, certainly. I'm sure you'll find something. May his light guide you.
It just doesn't work, Risha. No matter how hard I try. Between darkness.
Yes, and then...
This is holy ground, Outlander. Thou art my light.
What? Walk blessed.
Of course. Sister. I completely forgot.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Euro, you damned old fool. I guess I should be lenient with her. Here, I think I owe you this for your time. Now, excuse me. We have a lot to do here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that just might work.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You don't belong here.
Now, if it isn't the prodigy, well... Yes, I know. She's already told me everything. Good work, even though part of her report seemed to be a bit... enthusiastic. But I'll leave the judgment to Aranthiel. He wants to talk to you anyway. Seems you've caught his interest. Didn't I tell you that already? He's the highly esteemed, holy Grand Master of the Order. Tilor Aranthiel, son of Lorius I, praised be his name. An old legend, risen from the dead, or something like that. In the Emporium, the last building on the left side of the temple. Just tell the guard that Aranthiel has asked for you, and they will let you in. Ah yes, before I forget. My dame Lucy has left a token of gratitude for you. It's your choice. Do you want a book, an old map, or a bag of pennies? Very well. Now get a move on. I'm sure we'll talk again later.
What?
Pathlessness, wherever you look. Where...
What?
Suspicion, Tila. And to send an entire division across the sea because of a suspicion is madness.
We need to find out who sent the mercenaries. This Pegast said that they were after the Signet Stone, and if they succeed in getting hold of it next time, then the Black Guardian alone knows how to stop the cycle.
The cycle. Listening to you talk almost makes me forget that all this fuss here is merely based on some bad dreams you and your Neremese friends had.
The threat is real. Deny it as much as you like, but deep inside, you feel it as much as I do.
Tila, you're a commander, and a commander doesn't care about feelings, but about facts. You have made this mistake before, Tilor, back then in Kira. And
Natara, the mission will happen. I'm sorry.
You have a visitor.
So, you are the prodigy everyone is talking about. Interesting. I am Teilor Aranthia, son of Lorius I and Grandmaster of the Order, and I'm honored to meet you. What is your name? Yes, and I will come straight to the point. You are here because I believe that you are special. Humanity faces a threat that needs to be stopped, and to achieve this, you are indispensable. Among other things, yes. I do not need to explain to you that the present situation on Veen is chaotic. The wars, the living dead, common people who are losing their minds, to name only the most obvious. What most people are not aware of is the connection between these events. You, however, have encountered it, as have I. I do, and I will explain everything to you. What it means, who we are, and what your part in all of this is. Come, follow me. Maybe you already know who I am. My entire life, I served the gods who ruled Vin, until their death 2 years ago. What you probably do not know is that the one responsible for their death is my son, Narazul Aranthia. He hated
Who are you?
because he believed that they robbed mankind of their right to freedom, so he strived to overthrow them. He found followers, formed an army and declared war on them, and thus on me, a servant of the Lightborn as well. It all ended in a battle 30 years ago, which Narazul won. He killed every single survivor except for me, and locked me in a dungeon on Nerim. I still do not know why he spared me. There were circumstances favoring the development, but it's a long story which we won't discuss now. Good question. Because at the moment stability is the highest good, even more so considering what we are facing. The rulers of Kira and Kile both made the mistake to acknowledge the death of the gods to their people, and the civil wars that followed in their countries are evidence of the chaos that such a revelation entails. Enderal is the cradle of the Order of the Gods, the epitome of theocracy. It is unthinkable what would happen if we confirmed these rumors. I am sure you understand this. Maybe when all this is over that will change, but for now it is imperative that we deny all rumors of that kind. Yes, after more than 30 years, when the death of the gods made the magic around the prison disappear. And during my escape in the northern mountains of Nerim, I also had them for the first time, the dreams. I always saw the same glaring, terrible light, heard screaming, and I felt like I was burning up from the inside. And above all, like a veil, there was the knowledge of imminence. At first, of course, I dismissed these dreams as the delusion of a man close to death. So I concentrated on making it through the mountains somehow. Two days after my escape, I was completely exhausted, and I would have died if a former acolyte of my son had not found me. Yes, but he did not recognize me, and brought me to their headquarters instead, an old monastery in the mountains. The others were aware of my identity, but for whatever reason they did not kill me. Maybe because they thought that the death of the Lightborn had made me insignificant. I do not know. Still, even after my recovery, the dreams continued. At first, I doubted my sanity, but after some time, I told the leader of the mages, Constantine, about them. he said something that I'd never expected. I was not alone. He, as well as many others magically gifted on Vin, dreamed the same dreams. And the more we talked about the matter, the stronger our suspicion grew, which has now turned out to be the truth. Dreams. They come from the same place. They are a shared memory. A collective subconscious. Yes, I know that you can feel it too, and probably far more intense than we do. But like you back then, we were not able to make sense of the images. So we went looking for answers in the remains of the civilization that was before us, the Pyreans. 3 things. First, there were many civilizations before us and before the Pyreans. Maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. Second, the history of each civilization unfolded and still unfolds according to a pattern. They emerge, they blossom, and at some point, at the apex of their existence, they simply disappear without any trace. And third, everything that has happened in the past years, and which is still happening, indicates that this disappearance lies ahead of us. We are part of an eternal loop, a cycle, and our cycle is approaching its end. I see why you would say that, and I felt the same way for a very long time too. But there came a moment when we simply could not deny it anymore. We began to study the history of the Pyreans more intensely, and the parallels were extraordinary. In its early days, the Pyrean Empire was split up by a disaster, just like Vin was split up by the Starfall after the reign of the Eterna. Also, the Pyreans had a ruling caste who declared themselves gods after the catastrophe. The 2 castes of the Sun Priest. They too ruled until they were overthrown. This overthrowing was followed by an outbreak of wars and chaos. And then, just like that, the Pyreans ceased to exist. They knew it was imminent, but they could not prevent it. They called this event the Cleansing. They tried, but they failed. Who knows why? Maybe they found out too late, or maybe they were too weak. That is the question we need to find an answer to. The end was not violent, at least not in a sense as we know it. There was no natural disaster, no magical explosion, no plague. Even though there was war in the Pyrean Empire before its ruin, when the cleansing happened, it was as if all living beings simply fell down and died. It is ghastly. Well, this is the reason why we need your help. Not only episodes of history recur within every cycle, characters do as well. Yes, the Pyreans call them the emissaries. They emerge very shortly before the cleansing occurs, like a law of nature, an answer to the Red Madness. And I am one of them, as are you. While I take on the role of the ruler, you take on the role of the prophetess. It's just a description. Call it what you will. But without doubt, it is the truth. Your story matches the descriptions perfectly. No, as I already said, the emissaries simply appear at the beginning of the end, like pieces on a chessboard. We are determined by our skills. How and to what end we use them is our choice. Yes, former enemies or not, both sides have understood the magnitude of the threat. The magical knowledge of Narazul's former mages is vast, as is the power of the Holy Order. Even though not all of the Keepers agree, as you probably have already noted yourself. On the one hand, your power. You carry the potential to master any skill within a fraction of the usual time needed. I assume you have already realized this. On the other hand, your ability to look into the past, and therefore into the future. Your visions are a window into the past, and as every cycle is based on the same events, it is a window into the future as well. You can feel the thread this world is woven with, and because of that, you can see things that have happened, and thus will happen again. This gift makes you indispensable to us, and it is why I want your help. That is the wrong question. The correct question is, what alternative do we have? To wait and die? Good. However, there's one more thing before the actual work begins. I want you to join our order, and to do so, you have to pass a test. A trial. It is. Whatever you think about our story, we are the only faction that is strong enough to oppose the cycle. If you want to be part of our mission, you need to have access to our knowledge and resources. There will be voices in the Order speaking against your admission, as they are speaking against the presence of the Naramese mages. Consider it an honor or a necessity. It is up to you. It is the trial the novices have to pass in order to be exalted to the role of a keeper. Only the best students of the Squalor are allowed admission, and even though you have not been a novice, I want you to take it too. At this very moment, 2 novices are on their way to the testing grounds. I have informed them about your arrival. I had a hunch. Let us leave it at that. I have only a slight acquaintance with them. However, I know that they are both very talented and have been working hard toward the test. But see them for yourself. At the border to the Heartland, near the Whisper Wood. They will be waiting for you there. Take the Myret, talk to Signet Master Bartar, and hand him this package. And then follow his orders. Ah, one more thing. It might be self-evident, but keep your knowledge about the death of the Lightborn to yourself. I do not believe you can do any real harm, but in the worst case, path-abiding people will consider you a heretic. After the cycle has been stopped, we will deliberate upon how we deal with the matter, if and how we tell our people about it. But not now, that is for sure. Now, leave. The sooner we can dispense with this formality, the better.
A glimmer at the horizon. Thy name, thy sacrament. And thy path I will honor, in life as in death.
Good evening.
Yes? Oh, yes. You're the prodigy. I was expecting something else. I hope you're aware of what you're getting yourself into. Our novices trained for years for this trial. And as much as I respect the Grand Master, I think this is naive. In other words, it will be dangerous. Be aware of that. Oh, look at that. It's a bold swashbuckler. But fine, as you like. Then it seems I'm granted the extraordinary honor of exalting the first pathless in the history of the Order to a keeper. The others will scream for joy. Give me the package the Grandmaster gave you, and say hello to your new comrades. I have to go prepare something.
What? Oh, hello. You're our unexpected addition, aren't you? The prodigy? It does, actually. I'm Kalia Sakaresh, by my path novice and aspirant to the First Sigil. I have been told what you did in Old Rashengrad, that you saved the excavations and fought back the mercenaries all on your own. An astonishing feat, truly. You have my respect for that. Maybe, yes. Sometimes death is the only logical consequence of our actions. You know, I'm really curious as to what the mercenaries thought they were doing. Someone willing to attack the Holy Order is either extremely powerful or extremely naive. Anyway, it's been an honor to meet you in person. Let's talk later.
I don't want to hear it. You're prattling. I don't want to hear it. Just shove off. Heretics.
All right, enough of the chatter. Come here. Here. These potions will be necessary later, so be careful with them. Apart from that, it's still a few miles to the ritual place. As you're all gifted with magic, the spores in the forest ahead will make you a little dizzy, but we won't stay for long. Any questions? Long story. Simply put, they come from a special kind of mushroom that has infested this forest, and staying near them worsens the arcanist's fever. So, in case you're thinking about exploring further, take some magical protection and some ambrosia with you. Good. Stay close to me. But it's too late for that now. Korek would have conquered the city. Instead, you will be ashamed.
So this is the Whispering Forest. Fascinating. I've read a lot about it, but never actually seen it.
Poor thing. My brothers and I have seen the border countless many times before. But I bet you know all about the Undercity's radicals.
Focus.
Wait, do you see that?
Yes, that man. What is he doing?
Who cares? He's probably just a traveler.
He shouldn't be here. No merchant in his right mind would voluntarily travel through the Whispering Forest. We'll go take a look at him. Stay ready.
She's with me now. Forever.
Kirash!
What? You there? Who are you? And what are you doing here?
She's with me now. Forever.
What are you, deaf? Identify yourself.
His eyes. Master, this is the Red Madness.
Shit, of course. You will put away that pickaxe right now, my sir, and then get on your knees.
She wanted to leave. Don't you understand? She wanted to leave me. Just like that. But now...
This is
she will
disgusting.
stay. She promised me, and...
By the righteous path! Have you lost your mind?
I could ask you the same thing, damn it!
Guards!
Did you forget what Magister Yarrow did to the novices? This man could have attacked us at any moment.
Oh, really? Malphas protect us from your cunning. But did the thought ever cross your mind that one needs to understand a disease in order to heal it? And that some apothecary might have given their left hand for a living patient?
You're not being fair, Master. I was only protecting us.
Like heck you did. You behaved like an idiot. And not for the first time. The other masters might ignore that fact due to your religious commitment and your bloodline. I get that. But if something like this ever happens again, you will be suspended from the rites and will spend the rest of your life polishing prayer banks in the sanctum. Do I make myself clear?
He really was trying to protect us, Master. Maybe...
Do I make myself clear?
You do, Master. And I beg your forgiveness for my offense.
Granted. Now let's push on. We will take care of the body after the ritual.
Are you okay?
Just save it.
Here it is, the first foothold. This is where Malphas's vassals erected their first camp, so behave yourselves accordingly. You too, prodigy. Well then, before we start, there's something I need to tell you. Something, important. The rumors concerning the deaths of the Lightborn, they're true.
What?
The gods are dead. They fell 2 winters ago, beneath the sword of an unknown traveler. We, that is, the Order, have known about this for quite some time now, but haven't told the common people yet. But since the 3 of you intend to take the trial, there's no way to disguise the truth anymore.
But how can a god die?
There was a prophecy, as old as the Lightborn themselves, in which there was talk of a shadow god, who would end the era of gods. And it came true. I'm sorry.
You're sorry?
You're telling us that the gods have been killed, and you are sorry. What's next? That tomorrow the sun will stop shining? Tell us that this is a test, Master. It is, isn't it? A test of our faith.
No, the Lightborn are dead. But, hard as it may be to accept, we cannot afford to fall into a spiritual crisis right now.
The Order of the Gods. Malthus's order was created to protect the Lightborn. And if what you're saying, this blasphemy is true, then we're meaningless. We failed, don't you see that? Oh, by the Black Guardian, I just can't believe it.
And though I shan't be seen, thou shalt live by my virtue. 3rd Revelation, verse 137. I know it's hard, Dunmar, but if this is true, we have to show strength and keep on believing in what the Lightborn stood for. Which is the idea of peace and...
Oh, just shut your mouth, Sakaresh. If anything, you lowborn scum are living proof that the Order is going downhill. Do you really think I don't know about the village? You're a damned witch, and if this were the old times, you would have been crucified long time ago.
You don't mean that, Dunmar.
Drop it, for heaven's sake! We're all on the same side here.
No, we are not. This wench doesn't have any right to wear the white robes. And if you would spend more time with the Holy Scriptures instead of your brandy bottle, you would see it as well. But no, you just...
Shut up! I swear to you, one more word and you will wish that I just suspended you.
But...
No buts! Do you understand?
Yes.
I hope so, for your sake. Just be glad that this is a time when we need skilled mages more than ever. Just be glad. Now enough of this. Our demeanor defiles this sacred place. There will be enough time for depression and personal crisis after the trial. Let's recite the holy words. Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor. In life as in death. May your light guide me. Good. As you know, this trial will test the fortitude of your spirit. Because this is what distinguishes a keeper from a soldier. What distinguishes a wise man from a fool. Keep that in mind. Now, drink the potion I gave you. You first, Prodigy. Let's hope the Grand Master was right about you.
Oh no. No. No, no. I knew I wouldn't be the last one. Did they also tell you the tales about the Keeper's spirit? They've lured you into a trap, you know. And you fell for it. Because you're arrogant. Just as I am. As I was. Of course not. At least not according to your definition of the word. But then again, what is reality anyway? If I told you that you and your friend Sirius actually lie dead at the bottom of the sea, and that everything that has happened so far, your journey to Ark, the search at the Sun Coast, was only a dream, would you be able to recognize the truth? The answer is no. Because you don't want to be dead. Therefore, your mind will do anything to make you believe this entire dream you've had was and is reality. Doesn't it? Tell me, what is time
to the dead and dreaming anyway. The last second before the water floods into your lungs. The very last instant before it tears them apart. In your mind, it could be an eternity. A self-created sanctuary built from nothing but your wishes. But what's the point in talking anyway? You don't want to believe me. And I'm tired of trying to make you. Now leave me alone, before we make the suppressor even angrier. He doesn't like words. He likes the silence. What? They haven't told you about him? Oh, that's so typical. The suppressor. He's the reason why we will be imprisoned here forever. And why we can't access our feelings and wishes. And he does it because he wants us to lose hope. To stop believing. And... you know, sometimes I wonder if that's exactly what we humans... what I have to do to finally be free. Give up. Detach myself from the dreams of the past. Who knows if there were anything else than phantasms to begin with. But no. No, not yet. It's too early to surrender. And isn't that what makes us human, anyway? To hope? And to just keep on waiting for that one miracle that will end the pain once and for all? Yeah, I'll wait. And you will wait with me forever. What the? How did you do that? You simply opened it? But that's impossible. All these years it's kept me from escaping, and you just... Come on. We have to look. We have to look and see what's outside. We won't get far, but still we have to see. Come, lead the way. Oh no. They've lured you into a trap, you know. And you... I know I'm... But then if I... The answer is... a self-created sanctuary. What? And... But no. Yeah. What the? How did you do that? Come on. We have to look. We have to look and see what's outside. We won't get far, but still we have to see. Come, lead the way. By the gods! These are the scourges of the Suppressor! They want to punish us! So cold. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to go. After all, I mean, yeah. Yes, the smell is... Haven't we been here before? By the gods, everything here looks so similar. It's a damn maze. Oh really? We should never have left. This will be our doom. Oh no. No. You see it? All the cells. They're all empty. And there's blood. Oh no. There were people in there just like us. They didn't know their place. And now they're dead. They've simply dissolved. Because they dared to disobey the Suppressor. By the gods. This is what will happen to us too. I knew it was a mistake to leave in the first place. I just knew it. This is so wrong. And right. At the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Oh no, no! Can't you see? We're back. What? Leave me alone! The suppressor's punishment. It will be horrible. No, you haven't. Because you're blind. The suppressor is here, in every single stone, in every bone, in every drop of blood, and yet you are too blind to see it. But I should have known. I mean, what can you expect from someone who has killed his entire family? I followed you because for a brief moment, you made me want to believe, and now you've dragged me into the abyss along with you. Of course I'm a part of you, and you are a part of me. Isn't that obvious? But I should have known you wouldn't understand. You're too weak. You always were. No, there isn't. Just look at us. Look at what we are. We are the damned because we are trapped too deeply in the past. And that's why we do not deserve freedom. What? The suppressor's punishment. It will be horrible. Well, well. So you figured it out? Yes. I am what keeps you in this place. But was it blind rage that made you act, or have you truly understood who I am? Have you understood what drives you and determines your actions? The salt corrodes your skin, and the water filling your lungs is cold. But you still haven't found it, child, have you?